Hello, my name is Claire Windrum and I'm an Agriculture Account Manager at Dunbia. And today we're here at Springmount Farm, just outside Ballymena, to speak to Roger Bell, one of our lamb suppliers. Today's farm green focus will be on how Roger can determine the optimum silage cutting time based on grass quality and nutrient composition. And today Roger's going to talk through how he implements a pre-cut test ahead of silage cutting time to ensure he makes the best possible quality silage ahead of the winter months.
So we're here at Springmount Farm here today. We're running roughly 600 sheep and we're finishing sort of 70 cattle each year. So it's quite important for us. We're wintering our sheep inside over the winter and we're trying to push our lambing percentage quite high. So it's quite important for us to make that high quality silage. Same with finishing our cattle. We're trying to get them finished off with as little meal as possible. And that has become quite evident now as meal prices have crept up as the last few years as well. Doing the pre-cut system is it's another aid to help you. It's just a test there to see your nitrogen level and just to help you make that decision on what day to cut, because you know, that one decision is really going to affect your feed for the whole winter. So we're just taking a small sample and we're cutting it down the same height as what you would be cutting it down with a mower. And we'll take a random sample throughout the field.
So you don't go by the length of the grass, you don't go by the bulk of it, you literally go by these results, what you get back in the...
A bit of everything. So if these results are high in nitrogen, so it'll come back, your sugar will come back, your nitrogen level will come back, and so if it's high in nitrogen, it's going to be difficult to ensile. So it'll come back, it'll give you difficult, moderate or easy to ensile. And if it's high in nitrogen, so it's going to be difficult to ensile at that stage. So it's going to be difficult to make into good silage. So at that stage, yeah, you would give it another 10 days or whatever. Well, there's a lot to do with it as well. If you can get it nicely wilted, it really helps it and reduce the dry matter. That'll really help if it's just on the borderline, but if it's wetty sort of weather and it is high, no, we'll probably leave it. This was actually a grazing field. This isn't not actually our silage ground, so this is a grazing field that has got ahead, and we closed it off there a few weeks ago. So I'm suspecting to be no hassle with nitrogen, so it'll be good enough to ensile. Just the quality will not just be A1, it'll be okay, but it's just nearly past its best. Perennial grass, I've just plucked it from the ground. So there's only ever 3 good leaves on your plant. Once the 3rd leaf comes out, your 4th leaf starts to die off. So you can see this bottom leaf is dying off. You know, it's perennial, it's got a wee purple tinge to its root. And there's that optimum probably cutting stage. If we do strip this back, the seed head will be in here starting to form. And once that seed head gets up through, your quality is starting to reduce. Our silage process is we cut it, we're trying to cut in the middle of the day. We do our own silage, so that sort of helps. So that means we're not relying on a contractor to just come the moment we want to. We're trying to go out in the middle of the day and cut our grass. We'll kick it out straight away, weather conditions allowing this to happen, and we're trying to roll it up and get it gathered up within 24 hours. Your optimum probably would be even less than 24 hours if we had the weather, and if the weather's just dodgy enough, I try to get my dry matter down a bit, so the sheep like it that nice wee bit drier, so that's what we do.
And do you test your silage once it's ensiled at all and compare your results?
Yeah, so we test our silage every year. We probably test it through the winter time a few times as we go up the silo. But yeah, we do one core test to give us a rough example before we even open our silo, and then we'll do a few tests as we go up our silage to see if it's staying the same.
And have you seen a great reduction in the need for concentrates? in terms of your silage quality?
Yeah, if we do get our silage made the way we want to. Now last year we didn't, weather conditions wasn't there, so it's quite tricky. Like, you grow your silage, you're aiming to cut it at a certain date, and if the weather's not there that week or that fortnight, then it gets past its best. There's nothing you can do about that. But I'm trying to look to make that silage over 12 ME silage. And it's really the ME that's most important. Your protein you can replace quite easily with soya and get that up to where you want, but your ME is the one that you really struggle with. You know, if your ME in your silage is less than 10, the best you can probably hope for is add maize to it, which is probably pushing 13 odd. So it's a real struggle to get it up there, and you need your silage, your finished ration, to be probably at that 12 ME or over. So that's why we're trying to make that high quality silage. Via sample, this is what we'll get back. So we'll get a dry matter back, we'll get our crude protein, we'll get our sugar levels, and we'll get our nitrogen. We'll actually get a buffer capacity as well. So this sample here actually come back easy to inside. So the typical values of nitrogen for this time of year, they give you the average as well. So 3-year averages for this would be 242, and this come back at 113. So this is well below the average, and they're giving you an example as well. So anything, they're wanting anything below 1,000. So we're well within our ranges. Sugar levels.
Why do you think that was brought down this time round?
Just it was perfect growing conditions. The weather's been really good. The fertilizer's been on this quite a long time, so I knew there would be no issues with that. It's different if you get caught out and maybe sow your silage ground quite late on. The weather wasn't good. The weather was too wet for you. The ground was too wet for you to get fertilizer on. There's always different issues in the springtime. Sack and cut is never usually as big a challenge, because usually weather conditions is better, more stable and drier. But usually in the springtime, sometimes it's hard to get that first application of fertilizer on in time, just if weather conditions isn't right or field conditions isn't right. So no, this here has been no hassle at all. Dry matters neither here nor there. Depends on your sample where you take it, dry or wet. You want your protein to be quite well up there as well, and that's just on quality of grass seed and weather conditions as well. You have to take into factor a wee bit sugar levels what time you take your sample, but no, this has been actually very good.
And why is it so important to make good quality forage in terms of, you know, input costs and animal performance?
Yeah, it's your whole winter feed. You know, it can be messed up over a bad decision, yeah, so it is a challenge, and we have to try and make as high a quality silage as what we can. This is our cheapest fodder here, so everything else other than this is going to be more expensive. So your meal's more expensive, your straw is more expensive. Anything to replace this or to make this better is going to be more expensive. So yeah, we're lucky in this country we can grow really good quality grass, but it still can be a challenge. Like, you'll not get it right all the time.
Mm-hmm.